Good evening to you. After two dramatic opening rounds that saw JL sweep the board, we are back and we are ready for round 3 of 15 in this T2 season. It's certainly been a dramatic couple of days this week, but at last you can sit back and relax and enjoy tonight's two races. Our opening action this evening comes live from Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Tier 2. Evening to you, I'm Mr. Storm, joined in the commentary box as always by Tim. It's the third round of a championship which has certainly lived up to the hype, I have to say. Clear skies, sunny weather in Imola. It's been a great start, hasn't it, Tim?
Surely is. And, I'm looking forward
How's your week
to this
been?
one. Busy.
Fair enough.
I'm looking forward to
Well,
this race, so let's see how it
yeah, me
comes
too,
out.
definitely, yeah. First stop on the European leg of the season. We have been in Australasia for the opening two rounds, of course, in Australia and then in China last week.
Australia is the
The
continent.
Well, I mean, you can either call it Oceania or Australasia. I mean, I've heard both ways to say it.
Officially it's Oceania.
Yeah.
And then you've got
I kind of went,
Asia.
yeah.
So it's
And
gonna
then
be
you
like
can combine the
Oceasia.
two if you want.
Oceasia.
Yeah, Oceasia. Right, we'll go with that one. We've been in Oceasia for the opening two races. And the man that won the opening race, Klimek, is back. Racing for JL. Wasn't here last week. His teammate picked up all of the points. Litwa did well in the T1 race. Well, Razat has already retired from the session. I'm not sure why that is. So Razat will be starting dead last in the grid. But the opening driver coming out on the track this evening is Rally Ralph. And after a very poor start to the season in Australia, I think he was very, very happy with his performance last time out with better equipment. And I think he's feeling at home now.
Yeah. Surely
Rally,
likely is so.
yeah.
I mean he's in this continent now, and last weekend he wasn't the quickest, but he was consistent.
Yeah, and that's the big thing.
Even though he's not been that great, he's still sixth in the championship, you know, P5 and a P7, not bad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was last in Australia when we gave our half points, but then, of course, he did put that down to he had some very poor equipment, and he is not accustomed to racing on controller, so that was why he had a very poor start to the season. Sen Manders is just out in front of him. Sen Manders had a decent opening race of his T2 career last week in China. He's back, and he is raring to go in Imola this evening. And we are going to take you through his first lap in this qualifying session, coming out of the final corner and then into that slight right-hand kink, activates the DRS and heads out onto the front straight. Here comes Sen Manders ready to start this qualifying session. Will he be able to get on to the front row, maybe even get pole position tonight? We will find out. Into the first chicane, flick it left, then right, then left again. Looks like it's a decent enough run for Sen Manders as he heads down towards the Villeneuve chicane. Flick it left and then right. 7th gear in the first part, 5th in the second, then coming up towards Tosa, where of course Schumacher and Montoya came together all those years ago. Was Montoya blind? I guess we'll never know. Up the rise he comes. 6th gear, then into 7th, not reaching 8th, and then dropping it down into 6th once again, 220 kilometers an hour as he heads down towards the double right-hand apex here. 7th gear, and then a small lock-up as he goes from 4th then to 3rd at the middle sector split. It's looking like it's a decent lap for Sen Manders here, set to 49.472 as he flicks it into the chicane. And of course, many years ago, that was one of the best spots just to watch a Formula 1 car drive through.
Certainly.
Through the kink, and then into the final two corners. He looked like he overbroke himself slightly, but he has done enough to just get the car stopped, and at the line Sen Manders will slot himself into first place, obviously with 1 minute 14.780. Rally Ralph is next, 1 minute 16 dead, and then Cludden has backed out of his run, which means that it's Super Supida who will come up to the line in 3rd, but he has also invalidated his lap at the last proper corner. He would have set a 1 minute 15.585.
Let's see what Little can do.
Let's see. Yeah, take us through that lap, Tim.
As he's currently just a couple of corners away from the sector 2 split, as then we'll have a good indication what time he's been doing so far, and he puts on a 94.5.
It's not a bad run from last week's winner.
the only team, one of the two drivers of the only team that has won his yet so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, JL have had a fantastic start to the season. Of course, Klimek winning the Australian Grand Prix 2 weeks ago and Litwell winning last week in the absence of his teammate. Here he comes up towards the line. It is not enough for provisional pole position at the moment. He's just about a 10th off
Let's see what his teammate
Sen
does.
Manders. And his teammate goes into third, and that's a poor opening run.
Yeah, I mean, both Litwell, of course, already telling ahead of this race that this wasn't gonna be his race.
Yeah.
And Sen Mendes, who said to be looking good, and so far he is looking good.
Well, Sam Ross is the only driver who's actually on a flying run, as Clutton and Super Speedo have both invalidated the lap times once again. So we'll see what Sam Ross is able to do in the Vimto racing car. Had a decent enough opening race last weekend, was embroiled in a little bit of off-track controversy. Hopefully he'll be able to have put that behind him as he sets a 50.526 in the middle sector, flicker from right to left as he heads through the fast chicane into third, then fourth, then fifth, and so on and so forth. Just 10% of his battery left, keeping in a hop lap mode as he comes down in towards the double left-hander to finish off the lap of the Autodromo Enzo Idino Ferrari circuit. Final kink to come. What is it going to be for Sam Ross up towards the line? And he invalidated his lap as well.
Yeah, the last corner seems to be catching a lot of people off guard here.
And that's quite surprising because there is a big gravel trap there. And people just trying to exploit the limits of it, either going into the gravel or just putting all four wheels over the white line and validating the lap without even touching the gravel. So only 4 drivers have actually set a time. Razard's back, but Razard will be starting for the back of the grid. He retired within the first couple of seconds of the session, 11 minutes and 54 seconds to go. Sam Manders is top of the timesheets by a 10th of a second from championship leader Litwa. If you haven't seen the championship standings, I will run you through them now. The only guarantee is that Litwa is leading it, of course, after winning last week in China. Here are the driver's standings in T2. Litwa leads on 33. Yeah. Litwa leads on 33.5 points. Cludden is second on 18. Marcus third on 15. Litwa's teammate Klimek is fourth on 13.5 points. Sam Manders, Rally Ralph, Super Speedo, Camo, Razard, Liberties, and Sam Ross are the remaining drivers with points. In the Constructors' Championship, JL Fanatec WRT team lead by 20 points from Toyota. Orlen F1 are also 20 points behind there in third. BWT Lechner Racing are in fourth position on 19 points. Vimto Racing, Trackhouse, JD Motorsport and Shannon Racing are all at the back. JD Motorsport and Shannon have yet to score points. Shannon Racing still have no drivers, nor do JD Motorsport. No news in the last week either.
Yeah, both teams not looking off to a great start there so far.
No, it's very hard to watch, and it's very hard to see two teams that probably should have drivers and two teams not in the end having drivers. It looks like for the first time T2 is going to outperform T1 in terms of attendance. We're going to find out if that's the truth in around, I'd say, 95 minutes time. We'll say in an hour and a half's time whenever we get underway. For T1, Cludden bails into the boxes. A few drivers on outlaps to start their second runs. Sam Manders, Litwa and Super Speedo finally looking to set a lap time. He is going to come up towards the line. Tim, take us through his lap.
Yeah, let's see what he can put down as he's now officially starting his lap. Important for him, of course, to not invalidate it this time. He started his lap with quite low ERS, so that might just cause some trouble near the end of his lap. As we'll see in just a couple of corners now what the sector time is, and he validates his lap, and that's his lap gone.
I mean, he came into the chicane, Banzai form basically. He flung himself into the first half, and I was very surprised he actually kept it. And then he was golden. All he had to do was lift off the throttle slightly, but he goes out wide and he invalidates his lap, and Super Speedo will definitely be annoyed about that. Sam Manders is on a flying run. He's just come out of Toast, then coming up towards Piratella in 7th gear, then dropping it down into 6th, 220 kilometers an hour, as was in his first run. Beg my pardon. in towards the double right-hander, and then up the hill he comes towards the middle sector split. What is Sen Manders going to do at the second interval? It's a 2.5 improvement, which of course is massive for Sen Manders, but he has run wide and he hasn't validated his lap, and that is obviously going to sting quite a bit. Litwa is not improving. Litwa is a 10th down in the first sector as well.
And Klimek will see in that soon. In the meantime, for everyone who's following the Euros, Germany just scored 1 minute before the 90th minute. In the 89th minute, they scored an equalizer.
That's supposed to be my job, but okay. Klimek is on the
still
flying
enjoy-
run coming up towards Piratella. Yeah, don't worry if that one should go to extra time anyway. And that one, if there are any goals or if it does go to a penalty shootout, we will reliably inform you. Of course, the other game tonight is France versus Portugal. That one kicks off at 8 o'clock UK time. Klimek middle sector it's purple apparently, 1/10 and a bit up as he heads down towards Ravazza and the final couple of corners. 7th gear. And Litwa, despite going slower in the first sector, has found a Herculean effort in the last 2 sectors to go to the top of the timesheets. What is his teammate able to do? It doesn't look like he's going to improve his spot, but he does improve his time by 0.3 of a second. But first blood tonight, at least for the JLs, has gone to the championship leader in Litwa.
Yeah, certainly great luck from him, it seems.
Well, I did mention last week that Litwa dropped down from T1 to 2 to win races and potentially vie for the championship, and you suppose that this is a sort of a learning season for him, because if he does win the championship, he has to go up to T1. That's the mandatory thing. You have to, unless obviously you retire, you leave the league, or something happens or whatever. But if you stay in the league,
and that's a massive
and you win
spin
T2,
there for Sam Ross.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I saw on my map he was kind of going forward and backwards. But he has recovered. It doesn't look like he's picked up too much damage, but that is a big moment for the Vimto Racing man, as he is currently in 4th position and has had yet another moment. Now he is going across Villeneuve like it's 1990, disregarding the chicane altogether. But I'm not sure what's happened there. He is now weaving and spinning, and he is struggling. I think that's an understatement.
I think he's trying to get grip, but he just has none because his tires are just ruined.
I've been watching F1 for 10 years now, and I've been racing on the F1 game for 10 years. I don't think that's the right way to get grip back onto the tires.
No,
he is still low. He might be on for a personal best lap,
meantime,
though, if he cuts the chicane.
Improves by half a second.
Yeah, Cludden up to 5th there. Good lap for him. He's only around 30 thousandths off Marcus. In 4th position, here comes Sam Ross. Will probably bail in towards the pits, or he might well go again. He will go into the pits.
Yeah, I probably would also put new tires on if you've still got those available to you. We've got Marcus who's looking to be on a flyer, it seems.
Yeah, I think no, he's backed out of his lap. And Cludden is, of course, going to come into the pits at the end of his run. Super Speed is still the only driver who hasn't set a time. He's coming back out onto the track now. Razout might not even start last if Super Supida can't keep it on the track, which would be quite embarrassing. But I comes Super Supida once again. Tim, you've had problems with your broadband and your connection issues in the last 2 race weekends. Have you contacted your provider?
No, because I do have the shit ready for it, but the time I've got, they're just like, now the office is closed. Like I said, busy week, and
yeah.
Then the times I do have time is like, oh yeah, by the way, our offices are closed that time, so.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Super Speeder on an out lap. Also coming out of the pits is Sam Ross, who didn't take too long to get back out after his quite dramatic spin, I have to say, a couple of minutes ago. But he will come out onto the track with 4.5 minutes to go. This is probably his last chance to improve his spot on the grid. Needs to find probably about 4/10 to get into at least 4th position with how close Marcus and Cludden are. Between 4th and 5th, Klimek is in 3rd, and Sam Ross needing his own Herculean lap, like Litwa, to get into 3rd position and the top of the 2nd row. But the battle for pole position probably between Sen Manders and Litwa. Litwa with a brilliant lap. An absolutely almighty lap from the championship leader to see him into first place.
Yeah,
The final battle is about to begin in qualifying.
Yes, in the meantime, Super Speeder is just stalled his lap, as we see just in a couple of corners what it is, unless he validates. And he does validate it once again. And he goes straight now, and that's, yeah, Super Speeder qualifying over. He's not going to put down a lap, especially now
Well,
after going that straight
we'll
there.
find out.
He's got
We
front
will
wing
find
damage,
out.
and he's
He's
already
retired. He's retired.
Yeah.
And he's left. Yeah, I think he has well and truly had enough. Hopefully we'll get him back.
Hopefully we'll get him back for the race.
And just for our eagle-eyed viewers and or drivers who may be watching the match in the Euros tonight, Spain versus Germany has gone to extra time. We'll have goal updates and or massive updates if we have them. Sam Ross starts his final flying run as Rally Ralph comes out onto the circuit to go onto his final outlap. It's a brilliant run through Tamburello there for Sam Ross. He's using all the road on the inside and the outside and has backed out. Okay.
Yeah, he
Right.
almost lost it there, so I'm not too surprised about that. He backed out.
Right, well, Rally Ralph is on an outlap. Nobody else decided to take the liberty to come out on track. I had a stroke there. Sen Manders has now exited the pit lanes, so has Cludden. No movement in the JL garages yet. We'll see who decides to make the first move there, whether it'll be Klimek or Litwa. Marcus has also came out as well. The thing's getting very spicy indeed. 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the session. There we go, there's the movement in the jail garages, and it will be Klimek who comes out first, and Litwa is also coming out onto the box, out of the boxes I should say, onto the track. Now Super Cepeda has rejoined. Razak will not start last. 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. In the meantime, Rally Ralph is about to start his lap here.
And with Sam Ross actually, quite embarrassingly for him, already invalidated his first run, invalidated his next run as well. He now has 1 minute and 45 seconds to get around the track without invalidating this lap, which would mean he'd invalidate his next lap, which would mean he would start at least in 6th in the grid. Rally Ralph is heading through Tamburello, then down in towards the Villeneuve chicane. He might be under a bit of trouble when it comes to Litwa. Litwa will graciously get out of the way, but for Rally Ralph it is a 1/10th improvement coming up towards Tosa. And then towards Piratella, 4th gear, 5th gear, rising into 6th, and then finally into 7th, flicking it left at 200 kilometers an hour in 5th gear. A lot of drivers have chosen to do 6th through there. Rally Ralph in 5th, dropping it down into Aqua Minerale. He goes 4th gear, middle sector split. Is it much of an improvement for him? It's a 1,000th of a second loss. And he has had a massive moment coming out of the chicane as well. So it does look like Rally Ralph will be staying in 7th position. Also in the flying run is Cludden. He's a 10th and a half up as well. Sen Manders has backed out of his flying run, and it doesn't look like he'll get enough battery back. So Sen Manders might be out of the race for pole here. Rally Ralph coming through the final couple of corners now up towards the line. Is it an improvement for him? The answer is no. Sam Ross will have one final run. Cludden has backed out of his run, so Cludden won't be improving any further. Marcus is starting his run.
Sam Mendes is...
Yeah, he won't make it either.
I don't think he'll make it.
Marcus first sector, 39,000 down. Klimek also on a flying run, so is Litwa. So the battle for pole position might just be between the JLs, but Klimek has invalidated his lap, which means Litwa, essentially by default, has pole position, gets the additional point, and has nothing else to do this evening. Will he be able to improve his time first sector split? The answer is yes, by 0.2 of a second. But really, in all honesty, it doesn't matter.
That is very much true. Let's see how it will turn out then.
So Cludden will be 5th. Sam Ross is down by a 10th and a half. Rally Ralph will not be improving. Marcus has invalidated his time. He was 4/10 up. So he will be 4th. Klimek invalidated his time. And Sen Manders, hold on a minute. Sen Manders has made it to the line, I think.
Yeah, it seems like he did.
Yeah, he has, yes. So
He's the
Sen
only one
Manders,
who can
despite having
steal it.
very little battery. Yeah. How did he make that? I'm not sure. Middle sector split, he's a 10th up. Litwa Coming up to the line though, Litwa improves by attempts, so Sen Manders now has to find 3 attempts in the final sector in order to get onto pole position again, and I think that is a task that might be slightly too big for him regardless of his ability. Sen Manders into the final 2 corners now. Slightly wide, using all the road and the exit might help him. Is it enough? Doesn't look like it will be, and he's missed out by a couple of thousandths.
And it's Litwa once again on pole position here.
That's the main story. But Sen Manders missing out by 13 thousandths of a second, and that's not even the closest qualifying gap we've had all season. Litwa has done enough, but this is going to be a great race. Here's your grid. Litwa and Sen Manders on the front row. Will they duel for the 2nd week in a row? You'd like to think so. Australian Grand Prix winner Klimek is in 3rd with Marcus 4th. Cludden, Sam Ross, Rally Ralph, Razat and Super Supita round out the grid. 8th and 9th position on the grid, did not even set a time. Razat retired early on. Super Supita couldn't keep it within track limits. A truly enthralling Emilia Grand Prix is live and uninterrupted, and of course, it is next. And for our eagle-eyed Euros viewers, Spain versus Germany has started. 30 minutes of extra time to come. Well, good evening to you. After a dramatic qualifying session, we are ready for, I suppose, the first main event of the evening. It is yet another T2 race in our 3rd different venue of the season here at Imola. Of course, the San Marino Grand Prix for so long, until 2006. Now the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix every year since 2020, and it has a very, very rich history when it comes to motorsports. Some good, some bad, some tragic. But hopefully the T2 drivers are ready to etch their names into history by becoming the first drivers in this tier to win around this track. Mr. Storm and Tim in the commentary box tonight. Tim, we had a great qualifying session, it's fair to say. Who is your bet for the race win, though?
I'd say one of the JLCs. I think one of those will storm away with it once again here.
Well, last week they all started on the full wets. This week they all start on the mediums. Every driver from 1 down to 9, all on the yellow wall medium compound tyre from Litwa, all the way down to Super Supita at the back. If you missed qualifying, here's your grid. Litwa on pole position with Sen Manders in 2nd. Klimek is 3rd with Marcus 4th. Cludden and Sam Ross are on row 3 and 5th and 6th. Rally Ralph, Razat and Super Supita round out the grid, and Rally Ralph and Razat have been disqualified, and they will now have to wait around 1 minute and 40 seconds before the grid get around again, which means their tyres are going to be freezing cold. Not the ideal start. Here are your championship standings if you missed them from last weekend. If you have missed any of the Grand Prix in T2 this season, you really are missing out. Litwa leads it on 33.5 points from Cludden in 2nd in the Toyota. Cludden starts 5th in the grid for today's race. Litwa, the championship leader, on pole position. Marcus is 3rd in the Orlen F1 car. He is in 4th. Klimek is 4th himself. He's in 3rd on the grid. Sen Manders, in his first race last week, was 4th. He could have won that race. Some dodgy defending decisions maybe giving him a little bit of a preemptive warning in this league. He's 5th in the championship on 12 points. Rally Ralph is 6th, as was mentioned. Super Supita, Kama, Razat, Liberty and Sam Ross round out the field. 11 drivers scoring points in the opening 2 rounds. Constructors Championship, JL Fanatec WRT lead by 20 points from Toyota and Orlen F1, BWT Lechner Racing, Vimto and Trackhouse. The rest of the teams with points. As you can see, Litwa has now caught up. The 2 drivers that got disqualified, Litwa goes through one of them and will line up in his grid spot, and it's a slightly defensive line, a very defensive line, I think it's fair to say. But are you ready, Tim? The camera angle isn't.
For me, the camera angle is okay-ish.
Okay, we'll take your word for seeing as you're broadcasting 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. You all know what comes next. The T2 Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix is underway, and it looks like it's a great start from there. Litwa. Sen Manders with a slightly tricky start for him. Klimek might jump him. Marcus jumps the two of them. Marcus goes around the outside as Klimek and Sen Manders might go 3 wide into turn 1. Klimek comes out of it in second, then goes around as Sen Manders goes spinning. Litwa has the whole shot as Sen Manders goes from second to 8th in the space of 3 corners. Super Sapita is out of the race and has left the session. But what a dramatic start that was, Tim, as it's all kicking off now. Klimek's in the gravel. What on earth is happening here? Well, a dramatic start to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 22 laps to come, and already we've had more drama in 1 lap than we've had in the entire season. That's a joke. We've had plenty of drama so far. But certainly the most dramatic opening lap of the season. Sam Ross, look at the amount of positions he has made up. He's made 4 positions up from 6th all the way to 2nd on the opening lap. But Litwa, thanking his lucky stars that he has gotten away from that scot-free, and it was the start from Litwa that carried him to this 1.2 second lead on the opening lap.
Yeah, that was a great start and an important start for him.
Well, he's finished on the podium in the 2 races so far this season. He will enter the 2nd lap, leading the race. Sam Ross is 2nd. Cludden is 3rd, Razzout 4th, Rally Ralph and Marcus 5th and 6th. Sen Manders and Klimek round out the field. Sen Manders and Klimek involved in their own respective incidents. Sen Manders went spinning and flying into the gravel. Klimek also doing the same thing, just at a different chicane. Now they have to make up all the time they've lost. Sen Manders 3.5 seconds to Marcus, his teammate, who is in 6th position. So Litwa leads 1.2 seconds in front of Sam Ross in 2nd position in the Vimto racing car. His teammate Razzout is in 4th position, which is obviously great for their outfit. But as it stands, we're on for Litwa's 2nd race win of the season and JL's 3rd race win of the season, as Razzout has gone spinning into a wall and has got going again, Tim.
Yeah.
With a bit of damage, I may add. Not the best way to go about it.
Certainly.
Well, Razzout now relegated down to 8th position after a pretty dismal qualifying. I say dismal, he didn't even go out on track, so that was his first proper 2 racing laps this weekend, and he has careered it into a wall. Lap 3 starts, Litwa sets the fastest lap. Litwa gaining nearly a 1.5 seconds on that 2nd run. Sam Ross is in 2nd position, Cludden 3rd, Rally Ralph 4th, and here comes Marcus on Rally Ralph. Klimek sets the fastest lap, but Marcus will fly into 4th position, displacing Rally Ralph for 12 championship points. Sen Manders making up a little bit of the gap. Klimek will also have DRS in him. Will they work together, do you think, Tim?
I certainly would expect...
Oh, no, they will not! No, they won't! Sen Manders spins off into the gravel. His front wing end plate has gone flying off. And Sen Manders' race goes from bad to worse. And his opening 2 races have simply been something to forget, as he will now definitely have to pit as he goes flying off at the Villeneuve chicane. Greatest instance of the commentator's curse we've ever had in this league. Will they work together? No, they won't, because he goes flying into a wall. Sam Manders also picking up a 3-second time penalty now. I think he's well and truly lost it. To be fair, I would be very angry too. He's not doing what a certain individual did in a T1 race in Japan last season, though, if you remember back that far. And to be fair, he has no reason to. But I would be annoyed. He's down in 7th position and will have to pit. Razzout will gain a spot essentially on merit. Litwa leads, though, as he has done for the opening 4 laps. And as he did in China, at least in the latter stages, Sen Manders picks up a penalty. As Litwa did in the latter stage of the Chinese Grand Prix, he's pulling away. Super Sapita's back, he's out of the race though. So you'd expect that he will be leaving very shortly afterwards. Dramatic start though, Tim.
Yeah. Well, he's probably not too happy with that.
No. Who would be? Litwa now 5 seconds, or nearly 5 seconds in front of Sam Ross. Cludden's on the march though, and Cludden is getting very, very close to the back of that Vimto racing car. What will he be able to do as they come up towards the fast right-left chicane, dropping it down into 3rd gear? The both of the drivers. Still 1-1 between Spain and Germany in UEFA Euro 2024 goal updates as they come. Super Sapita realizing he's retired now, has left the lobby, and his weekend in T2 at least ends in, well, in a very anticlimactic finish. Here comes Cludden. Will he be able to get the move done on Sam Ross? Coming down towards Tamburello, it does look like it's going to be a formality. He will drag it to the inside of the track, and he will get the move done. Not much resistance from Sam Ross as Cludden goes into second before Tamburello. Great move.
The Swede there getting moves done. I mean, he's not the only one who will drive tonight there in Tier 1.
Well, of course, the T1 grid is slightly dwindled down. We have a spin. Rally Ralph has gone off into the gravel at the Villeneuve chicane. So Rally Ralph, after a very promising start to the race, that's all coming up in smoke now as Klimek makes his way into 5th position. A safety car could change this race. Then again, a safety car can change every race. But a safety car certainly helped Klimek.
Very true that.
Marcus picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's 2.2 seconds behind Sam Ross, who of course lost second place at the start of this lap. Litwa now 5 seconds clear of Cludden. Maybe that gap is going to start to go down, though. We didn't really see Cludden's true pace in qualifying. You'd like to think, is his race pace any better? We'll find out as Litwa starts lap 6 of 22 in the T2 Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. You're watching Next Gen by JL Storm. Tim in the commentary boxes. This evening, 2 races to come. This is the first. We are live with T1 later on in the evening. We'll see what happens in that one. But at the moment, Litwa dominant at the front. Litwa on for his 2nd win in 2 races. Sam Ross has held up impressively well, I have to say. He is now out of the DRS range of Cludden, but he's doing very well at the moment to be where he is. Rally Ralph has gone off yet again at the Villeneuve chicane for the 2nd lap in a row. He has gone careering into that gravel trap, and you start to feel sorry for him at that stage, Tim.
Certainly, but yeah.
What can you do?
There's not much you can do about it now.
No.
Yeah, it's happened now, and
I say Sam Ross is doing well. It seems that the commentator's curse is out to bite me in the ass tonight. Sam Ross with a 3-second time penalty to join with Marcus and Sen Manders. Sen Manders actually picked up a 13-second worth of penalties. 3 seconds for track limits and 10 for speeding in the pit lane. Sen Manders 22 seconds behind Razout. In 7th, Litwa starts lap number 7, well and truly in the lead. Nearing the end of first half of extra time in the match between Spain and Germany at the Euros. Still Spain 1, Germany 1. Currently Spain are on a mini attack. Germany defending very well if that one goes to penalties. We will keep you informed. We should still be on air by the time that happens, if that happens. Sam Ross has now gone off with the Villeneuve chicane. That is claiming quite a lot of lives tonight, whether it be Sen Manders, Razout, Rally Ralph, or now its latest casualty in Sam Ross. We should call it the wall of Villeneuve, or the gravel trap of Villeneuve, because simply put, it's a death trap.
very much true.
Normally I ask you in qualifying what your opinion on the track is, Tim, but I forgot to. So what's this track like to drive around? Do you like this circuit?
I'm shit at it. I absolutely hate driving on it, but I love to see the track. Although I do love to drive it in like GT cars, but in Formula 1 cars I'm not enjoying this track as much.
Yeah, you can understand that. Razout's now picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's down in 7th, 8 tenths behind Rally Ralph. They are, of course, fighting for 6th position. Razout will try and make that move at least on track. Litwa completely dominant. Litwa completely in a league of his own. 6 seconds now clear of Cludden at the front of the race as he comes up towards Tosa for the 8th time in this race.
Yeah, certainly he's been doing great. In the meantime, it's Razout who got past Rally Ralph into P6. Of course, Razout with the penalty though. In the meantime, it's Klimek who is on the back of Marcus. And Sam Mendes puts on the fastest lap. He's trying to get back. I mean, different strategy, just a bit new tires, but not that much. So let's see how it turns out for him.
They do tussle, and Raza gets the move done for 6th position. Rally Ralph ceding that place.
In the
Has a
meantime,
small look up the inside for Piratella, but doesn't make it.
in the meantime, it's Klimek. Klimek who is quite close there to Marcus, but just not quite looking for a move just yet. He's just been on the back there. Looking.
Rally Ralph picks up a 3-second time penalty. He actually was the architect of his own downfall there. He saw a move up the inside and tapped Raz out on the rear wheel. None of them went off into the Shadow Realm to meet Barry R and his assortment of friends, but still. Klimek does get that move done.
Great move down the inside using DRS there.
But Marcus will fight it. Marcus will then give up because Marcus was very slow for the Villeneuve chicane. Klimek will get away. He didn't have the best qualifying pace. Maybe his race pace is a little bit representative of what his true form is around this track. He's 5 seconds behind Cludden, who in turn is 6 seconds behind Litwa for the lead of this one, lap 9 of 22. The prolonged periods of silences are certainly not stuff we like to put in, but seeing as there aren't many battles around the field, or if there are any battles that do end quite abruptly, we don't really have much to talk about.
The closest battle is Rally Ralph in the DRS there.
Yeah, Klimek and Marcus both pit, so these are the first stops of the race. You'll assume they'll go onto the hard compound tyre each. Marcus will swap onto the white wall tyre, so will Klimek, who has got the better stop. It looks like JL just about get the job done, but it was very close. We have a yellow flag. Rally Ralph has spun off at the final 2 corners. Potentially his 7th place at risk as Sen Manders now making his way up through the field. Tim, it's been a dull one so far, apart from a few key moments, but Litwa is just unstoppable sometimes, isn't he? And tonight's one of those nights.
Certainly is.
Will he be able to hold on? We're nearly at the halfway stage. We have got 12 laps remaining. Litwa coming up to start lap 11 and get to the halfway stage in this race. If you've just joined us, welcome along to coverage of round 3 of 15, the T2 Next Gen by JL season. Litwa on for his 2nd race win in a row after winning the Chinese Grand Prix last week. JL on for their 3rd race win in a row after winning in Australia 2 weeks prior with the man who's in 5th position. Sam Ross picks up a 3-second time penalty. Litwa has a massive moment there as we ride on board of him coming out of Tamburello. Had a huge slide, and just like in China, nearly throws the race away, or nearly tries to throw the race away. He's trying to make this entertaining for himself.
Yeah, I mean, in China he was like in China he was 2 seconds away from fully throwing it away the win there.
Of course, Mika Hakkinen did it at this track back in 1999. There used to be a chicane where the final straight is, and Mika Hakkinen went into the wall, and Murray Walker had one of his famous commentaries near the twilight of his career, of course, working for ITV with Martin Brundle. Heard that name? I hope you have. Marcus picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and the penalties are now starting to rack up. Most amount of penalties goes to Sen Manders, who's got 13 seconds worth. Marcus and Sam Ross have 6, and Razout and Rally Ralph have 3 seconds. After Litwa had his scary moment, he does pit as he starts lap number 12. Sam Ross, you'd like to think, will come into the boxes with him as well. Litwa will most likely go onto the hard compound tyre. I don't see any possible alternative. He does, and he will begin the last stint of his race on the white wall hard compound tyre. Sam Ross stays out, and Sam Ross will take over the lead of the race. So Litwa has to get past within a lap, and it doesn't look like he's going to do that. So Litwa not on the Grand Chelem tonight. Of course, that's win the race. set the fastest lap, lead every lap. And to make it even more impressive, get pole position, which he did. So Litwa is 7 seconds behind. Sen Manders has picked up yet another 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane again. His race goes from bad to worse to abysmal as he serves a stop-go penalty. When we spoke of him last week, he said he wasn't happy with 4th place. If he wasn't happy with 4th, then he's going to be absolutely raging with 7th, wouldn't you say to him?
Yeah. I mean, certainly it's the same. Sen Mendes also making this pit stop now. He's still got a lot of recovery work to do, especially since it was so early in the race. He couldn't really alter a strategy there.
No. Well, he definitely needed some form of a safety car, and he hasn't got it. So, of course, he will continue to struggle this evening. Whether he will remain in 8th position is unknown. Only retirement in this race is Super Supida, retiring on the opening lap. I'm not actually sure what happened there. Whether that was a glitch in the game, I'm not 100% sure. We'll get the information as soon as we can. Lap 13 of 22 here in Emilia-Romagna here at the Imola circuit.
And meantime, it's Marcus and Klimek now battling there. Once again, Rullerov picks up another 3-second time penalty.
Well, it's getting very sad for him. Sen Manders actually set a purple middle sector. And oh dear, what was that? That was a collision from me going into my microphone. Currently, Spain won, Germany won. The second half of extra time has begun. 12 minutes plus whatever comes, plus potentially penalties. So regardless of if we finish, we will stay on if it goes to penalties, and we will have I suppose a live commentary. That could be fun. Before then taking a break. Before the T1 series. Tim, I have to say this race has been mid.
Yeah, certainly.
Very mid.
Marcus now DRS, and now ahead there of Klimek again. The question is for how long? I'd say next lap. Unless one of them has another issue or something, but I doubt that happens.
Storm's word of the week last time out was heart palpitation. My word of the week this week is yawn. What a snooze fest this has been.
Yeah, certainly. We've got battles, but all the battles are just being fought on the DRS.
Yeah, and they are ending after the person gets past. Litwa, interesting enough, might not even have to use DRS to get past Sam Ross, because look how quickly he's gaining. He backs out of it though, fearing that there may be a bit of dodgy defending, and he actually goes into the back of Sam Ross. I'm not sure if he's picked up damage, I doubt it. There was an end plate flying off though, and Sam Ross graciously lets past Litwa. I'm not sure if that were for DRS though, so it might not be that gracious after all. But then again, his tyres are absolutely shattered, and he is one of the slowest drivers in comparison to Litwa. He will pick up DRS. He'll probably be able to do nothing with it. I say that, and he's actually gaining quite a loss. And Litwa doesn't put up a defensive move at all, and goes back down to 2nd position. Sam Ross hasn't pit. I think that's the important thing to note as well.
Oh, let's see, yellow flag there as it's Marcus in the gravel.
Once again, the Villeneuve chicane claims yet another life tonight.
And his re-entry there, it was just on time. Would have come like half a second later, he would probably be a danger for us out.
Well, we'll see if he's able to get past Razout again. Razout has been pretty lacking on pace. Marcus has been quick in instances, but once again the Villeneuve chicane has lured the driver in, and Marcus is getting very close to the back of Razout there. nearly goes into his rear wing slash and/or tyre. Sam Ross has picked up yet another penalty at the front of the race, and he's staying out this time. It's like he almost wants to get disqualified for not changing his tyre. Here comes Litwa. Doesn't have much battery left, and is actually struggling to make the move because Sam Ross is defending like Senna against Mansell Monaco in 92. Litwa goes around the outside, and Ayrton Senna does not live on within Sam Ross.
Yeah, but Letwa did take a bit of a risk. Yeah, I mean, he had the outside, but the inside, one mistake of Sam Ross, and he did be flying off there.
Lap 16 of 22. A snooze fest of a race, it's fair to say. Not much to commentate on. This is very sad. This is extremely depressing.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Claude who's closing it insanely quick on the driver. I
should actually mention that. Yeah, Clutton's had a great stint on the hards. Maybe we will have a slight battle for the lead come the end of this one. We might have something to talk about.
This time, unlike China, this time we might actually see, like, if a mistake happens, the lead is so small, Claude might actually be able to catch up close enough this time. If
the first thing is, though, he has to get past Sam Ross, and Sam Ross pits. Sam Ross pits, Clutton gets his slipstream for a small second by nearly following him into the pits. He has DRS, he's using overtake, and he's closing on Litwa.
Yeah, he can has to. I mean, maybe he can do something in the closing stages, or if Litwa makes a mistake again, it's his time to provide from it.
I think Germany have had a scoring chance. No, well, they had. They've appealed for handball in the box. That has not come to fruition, I believe, because of an offside appeal. I'm not obviously watching the game and commentating the race. I think that's too hard to do. But I'm just flicking my head between both screens here. Michael Oliver is stationary. The baldy prick himself. We'll see what he does. But back to the race. Nothing massive going on.
And Reza, both Vimto drivers on the soft tire there. Let's see if they can steal the fastest lap or something. I think that's
everyone. I mean, it's ridiculous that everyone bar Litwa has picked up a time penalty. That either shows how consistent. Oh my god, the time penalties keep racking up as yet another driver, and I should say yet another driver. I should say yet again, Rally Ralph has gone into the gravel trap at the Villeneuve chicane, so it looks like it's going to be dead last for him this week.
Meantime, it's
just like it was in Australia.
To make it 1-2 here for JL.
And he does. Brilliant for them. Let's not forget that both drivers do have 3-second time penalties, so this is for position, but Cludden able to do nothing to defend against the onslaught of the JL Fanatec WRT team, as Klimek now chasing down his teammate. Things could get spicy here. They came together in Australia. They might come together tonight if Klimek gets within decent enough range. Hopefully not, though.
In the meantime, it's Sam Mendes on the back of Reza. Sam Mendes, who has finally recovered from the 8th place due to the lot of rally rough mistakes, and now he's looking to make it P6 here. Getting
does get it done.
Vimto here. But he doesn't look to make it past the other Vimto. That's an 18-second gap.
No.
There's no chance he'll make that gap.
Well, I mean, there's never no chance. If Sam Ross goes off and or crashes out of the race, then he will get 5th. But we'll find out what happens in terms of Sen Mendes and his terrible race. Yeah, definitely. That's fair enough.
It's dependent on Sam Ross whether he makes that, gets higher than P6. Or another driver, of course, if they crash out, he can still get higher than P6, but it's not in his own hands anymore.
Clutton has held up with Klimek quite well. He had DRS on the front straight there, not able to do much with it. Still 6 tenths between them as they head for the Villeneuve chicane. It does look like Litwa is home and hosed. He has got 3 and a bit laps left, 3 3/4 laps left to defend the first position and get his 2nd race win of the season. And it would be big in terms of the overall championship picture because he would be gaining on Clutton by 10 points. Actually, no, he wouldn't be gaining on Clutton by 10 points because that would insinuate that he doesn't have the fastest lap nor the pole point. He would be gaining 11 points on Clutton. 1 point could make all the difference come the end of the season. Still 12 rounds to go, of course, after this one. 12 racing weeks to come. Not in 12 weeks, we do have a mid-season break later on. But once we get to that, we will inform you. Plenty of great action still to come this season, you'd like to think.
Certainly.
Germany, I think, nearly scored with Fulkrug. I'll just check this, as Cludden gets very close to Klimek. Yeah, diving save from the Spanish goalkeeper there. Nearly letting that one in. Cludden doesn't get past Klimek again, as he did on the last lap. Klimek will defend once more. And we are edging ever closer to a JL 1-2, which would just be a fantastic result for the team.
Certainly. But also quite boring for us.
Yeah, definitely a 4 out of 10 race. Let's hope T1 gives us a little bit more excitement. In terms of race attendance for T1, we have got 9 drivers, which is great. We have got nobody who's tentative, and 8 drivers who are defining. They are Yasko, Litwa, Ryu, Nexa, Razout, AFY, Super Supeda, Cludden, and Sam Ross. Hopefully someone can make it 10, but as it stands, we will be equal in both T1 and 2. Obviously not the best attendance to start off the season, we know that. Hopefully this will grow at some stage. It's not been the most popular game though, so I think we can put it down to that. Litwa now within 2 laps of winning his second race of the season. That's lap 21 of 22. But will JL be able to hold on for a 1-2? Let's find out, Tim. Here comes Cludden once more.
Yeah, let's see. Is that be the first 1-2 then? Would be the first 1-2 for the team. Although you'd say that they've had amazing performances. I mean, in Australia they qualified 1-2, but in the race that was a 1-3 in the end.
Yeah. Last week they just had 1 driver, so of course they couldn't get a 1-2. This week they're getting very close. Cludden, interesting enough, has 90% battery left, Klimek 33%. So if Cludden sees the need, he can easily spam ERS, but he's had a very, very bad lap here. So far, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
Klimek with a lock up there as well.
And it looks to be 3rd victory though for JL Fanatec, and also the 2nd victory for Litwa, who will extend his championship lead. The championship lead for JL Fanatec will either way be extended as well.
Oh my good lord! Germany are going out of the Spain was scored with a minute to go. Spain 2, Germany 1, the 119th minute. And the hosts are heading out of their tournament. Here comes Cludden on the final lap. Oh wow!
And Klimek.
Oh wow! And Cludden has survived.
He went on the grass.
And will just like Bottas and Russell in 2021.
He touched a bit of grass and just spun, and that was Klimek out.
Oh wow. And that's a shock, and that's a turn up for the books that we did not expect whatsoever.
Certainly.
Cludden had so much room on the outside. Klimek was not defending it. And Cludden sees a little bit of grass on the right-hand side of the track, says, I might just use you a little bit. Touches the grass, spins around, crashes Klimek out of the race, but somehow he's still in 2nd. But there will surely be an investigation into that.
Certainly, but Litwa now just a couple of corners away from winning here. Now, without his teammate, no 1-2, that's certain.
But he will do enough. Litwa, to his feet, stand and applaud. Litwa wins his 2nd race of the season. JL Fanatec WRT win their 3rd race of the season. And in a dramatic and controversial finish, it is a 2nd win of the season for the Polishman, who comes home to win the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Cludden in 2nd. In my personal opinion, will 100% be penalised. Marcus in 3rd. Sam Ross in 4th. Sen Manders will come home in 5th position. We said he needed a miracle to at least get 5th. He got it. Raza at 6th. Rally Ralph in 7th. But the middest race you are ever likely to see ends with Litwa coming home to take yet another victory. Sen Manders serves his unserved 10-second time penalty, and Razat might actually clinch 5th place because of it. We'll find out. He does. So Sen Manders relegated down to 6th position. But what a terrible race that was. Great ending to it, though, Tim.
Yeah, certainly. Well, a great. I wouldn't call it a great ending, but an exciting ending, you can say.
Dramatic, at least on lap 1 and 22. T1 to follow. Driver of the day, at least to the game, says Marcus. But a simply ridiculous ending that sees JL take their 3rd win in a row in the most dramatic of dramatic circumstances. Final race order, Litwa coming home for his 2nd win of the season after 29 minutes, 11 seconds and 1/10 of a second. Everyone else bar him got penalties, so Cludden is 2nd, Marcus is 3rd, Sam Ross and Razat 4th and 5th of Vimto Racing respectively. Sen Manders was 2nd of the grid, had a lot of mistakes, he finishes down in 6th. Rally Ralph is 7th. Klimek retired on the final lap due to the most ungodly collision you will ever likely to see, just a recreation of what happened in 2021 really. He is 8th, and Super Supida did not race a single corner of the Grand Prix. He finishes in 9th. Final thoughts, Tim?
Dramatic chaos.
Dramatic chaos is I probably sum it up as that as well. Sen Manders set the fastest lap as well, 1 minute 16.053. So not the best weekend. I would say not the best weekend for him, but at least a small consolation of the fastest lap prize. So Litwell once again with another win. JL, yes, another win. Spain have won. One more game to come in the Euros tonight. Probably won't interrupt T1 as much, hopefully. But of course, the main event will be coming up in around 45 minutes' time. We'll probably be live from around, I'd say, another 25-30 minutes. So a small break for the two of us, Tim. Thanks very much for joining me so far tonight.
Yeah, it was certainly fun and also boring, but
yeah. What can you do? What can you do? Fun race, at least on lap 1 and 22. Litwa comes home for his 2nd race win of the season, and once again JL with their 3rd win of the season. A simply dramatic race, as I mentioned on lap 1 and 22, but overall pretty mid and pretty boring for the most of it. If you're still awake, thanks for watching, and we are going to get underway for our T1 stream in around half an hour's time. Bottas isn't racing tonight, that championship lead isn't going to go unless Yasko wins or something incredible happens. We hope that you can join us then. We're going to have a hell of a race, hopefully. If it's better than T2, it's an accomplishment. We will see you in half an hour's time. Bye-bye.